I don't know if this only is a me problem, but I'm 34. I have no children. I'm not married, and I'll be 35 in May. And the older I get, the further away I feel I am from being a husband and a father. And not because I can't have kids, but because when I was younger,
I realized I was gay, which wouldn't stop you from being a father or a husband.
Yeah.
But in Saudi Arabia, it would.
Yeah, because it would unalive you. And I could stop you from doing a lot of things, like being a father and having kids.
Facts. Do you think stones stop you from having kids?
Well, because when I was younger, I always desired to be a husband, especially in my early 20s. I thought by 25, I'd have 2 kids, I'd have a house. Maybe I was being unrealistic, but as I get older, it's like, man, my little brother is about to have a 1-year-old in June. My baby sister is about to have, well, she actually has an 8-year-old right now. And I'm like, I'm the last one.
Stop calling them your baby sister, your baby brothers, if they're about to have kids. They ain't no babies. Even you don't have babies. So.
Well, he said his baby sister got an 8-year-old. It sounded like she might have been like almost a teen mom.
No, she could.
He said baby sister, so he's what? He's 33? 8 years. I mean, it's very likely that she's probably under like 26, 27. So
that's possible.
Yeah. I'm just saying, when you have a kid that young, generally the parents don't approve. So at the time when she had that kid, he was probably like, well, it ain't me. And now 8 years later, he's like, I wish I was. It ain't me. It's just a funny thing. You know, like, man, I was like, but you was probably looking at it like, damn, that's young. You don't have kids right now? It's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm a great guy. I believe I'm attractive. Like, I do well for myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got it together. And it's like, why hasn't it happened for me yet? And I'm like, man, maybe I'm the problem. I don't know. But I don't know if anyone feels that way, especially men. I'm a black man. I'm young still. I don't have no baby mamas, none of that. And yet I desire to be a husband. I desire to get married one day and have kids. And it's like, I just feel like I'm just getting older and I'm further away from that dream. And it's so crazy because it's something that I truly do want, but I see so many people out there who already have it. And I feel like,
okay, I'll just be super brief. Nobody cares what you want or truly desire. What actionable steps are you taking? It's so easy to say you want something, but if your actions are going in contravention with that, nothing you want or desire fucking matters. I've heard hundreds of girls tell me they want a nice guy and end up with a fucking piece of shit afterwards who everyone knew was a piece of shit from miles away. It is what it is. What you claim you want or desire has nothing to do with what you're actually going after and what you're doing in your day-to-day life. Now, maybe you're just having bad luck. Who knows? But me seeing a whole video about, I desire this, what are you doing towards that desire? You not mentioning that doesn't tell me anything.
I believe in manifesting. I tried.
You still triggered me.
I know.
You succeeded. Because you said that shit, I went...
I believe in manifesting. If I repeat it long enough, it's going to happen.
Yeah, you know what I hate? It's like, here's the thing. So I'm close to this guy's age, right? And same situation, no wife or kids. No baby mamas or whatever it might be.
That we know of.
I'm good at running away. What can I say?
My God.
Just playing.
My God.
Always give out fake names. Moving on. If I'm at my place right now, okay, and I'm saying, oh, I desire kids, which is something I want, I'm also not going to sit here and be like, how did this happen? I know what I was doing in my 20s. I know what I was not doing in my 20s too. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, why didn't I have kids? I know why the fuck I didn't have kids. And you know too, if you're honest with yourself. And if you don't know, then that's probably your first problem. Anybody who gets to this age and doesn't know why they're in the situation that they're in and pretends like, oh my God, it's just this.
Things are just happening. I'm just trying to roll the dice on this thing called life. It was a board game, but, you know, we're not playing a board game.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's real life. It's a real thing.
That's right. Even the language, he says, like, I feel like I'm further away from my goal. No, you walked away. You actively took steps to not be where you're supposed to be. That's most of us. The way people talk about these things oftentimes really informs me about what the issue is. Because there's just no way you in your mid-30s and you don't know how you there without kids or a wife.
There is a way.
Tell me.
Denial. lack of accountability. There's a way. There's definitely, but you just don't understand how it is in front of you, and you didn't take the step to. You have to just take a look within or look at your actions, right? I understand what you meant. I totally understand what you meant, but I'm gonna explain to you what you understand. Why you know what I don't have to explain anything to you, but it's really There's a lack of accountability there. There's a lack of self-reflection. There's a lack of maybe there's a little bit of entitlement. Well, when you're younger, I don't know this dude, so I can't tell for him, right? But what I've noticed is that, when you're younger, you think it's going to happen and you got all the time in your life. You're like, whatever. And sometimes you reject your blessings. You reject your blessing. You reject the things that are coming to you because you think there's going to be better. At your age, you just have to do a self-reflection. What happened? What step did I take? Yeah. Was I too judgmental? Was I shooting too higher than I thought I would? Was I being too stingy with some things? Was I being a relationship snob? It's not exactly what I like, and now I pictured it in my mind, so I'm not gonna go for that because I deserve better. Yeah, you do deserve a lot. You do. Congratulations. But sometimes you don't. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's what you deserve, and then you work it to make it better. It could be a lot of things. You just gotta look within. You gotta look like how you treat relationship. Are you giving up easily? Because if you give up easy on different relationship, being with someone is not going to be easy. So if you give up, well, the result is going to be the same. So yeah, you're going to end up at the same place that you are. You have to look up there's a lot of things that you have to look up and a lot of actions that you took or didn't take that you have to look. You have to look within. Why am I here? Mm-hmm. On the other hand, you're comparing yourself to your sister and your brother. And you have to understand one thing. The same way that we're not you and we don't know you like that, you're not them and you're not in their heads. So as much as you're like, oh, they got kids, I ain't got kids, you don't know what their regrets are. You don't know what they like. You don't know what. So the comparison that you're doing with other people, yeah, I understand that you're doing that. We live in the world, so we're always going to compare ourselves. But sometimes it really sets you back because what you see is really the good part. You're not in their head. You don't know what their regrets are. So even though you look at that and you look at that sister with that kid and you're like, I wish I was that. Maybe your sister's like, shit, I was really too fucking young for that thing. And although I love my kid, if I would have done it again, I would. So maybe that person is looking at you is looking like, look at my big brother, 34 and living his best life. I got a mortgage, got a car, I gotta go to the skit. I can't even go out whenever I want. So it's like, yeah, I understand everybody's situation, but sometimes you have to be grateful also for what you got right now. Yeah. It could have been better. Yes, it could have. It could have been worse. A whole lot. Live right now. Live from what you got. Comparing yourself like that. And I understand it. It's right there. We're always comparing yourself. But sometimes it sets yourself up. We were setting yourself up for failure. And maybe that person is envying your situation. That person wish she would have waited a little longer to have kids.
Yep. You know what I said earlier about the baby girl, the baby sister, having a kid that young, and he's probably looking at, I'm glad it's not me. Yeah. And now 8 years later, when that kid about turned 8, she's no longer a teen mom. Now he's like, what was her struggle like?
Or maybe she was never a teen.
What that shame that she went through and everything.
That shame, the responsibilities that you have to
even
do.
Even if she wasn't a teen, she was super young.
Yeah,
I know for a vast majority of people, when they haven't that young, and it's like in that environment, it's a stressful experience. Mm-hmm.
So, and again, I don't know that person, so I don't know, and I don't know you either. So I'm just speculation. We're just saying that
grass is always greener, though. You're not lying.
Grass is always greener. So chill. Maybe it's not like that. Focus on what you got. Are you healthy?
Yeah.
Good. If you don't really have nothing to worry about, then focus on whatever goal you need to do and what you need to do in order to have a relationship and kids, if you can. So
I get it. Sometimes you're with somebody for a long time, things don't work out. You find out things about them, y'all grow apart. That happens for some people. I'm not saying there aren't circumstances where I can't understand. Yeah. But let's talk about the vast majority of people. Vast majority of people are where they are because of their own decisions. That's just the truth. And growing older is like being mature enough to recognize your part in why you are where you are. I'm never going to say and be like, oh, life didn't give me. Like, yes, there's certain things from a young age that probably set me on a bad path. But a lot of it's also self-accountability. A lot of that, I'm meant to be where I am right now because I didn't have the tools before to recognize the things I need to recognize in what I want out of life. There's no way. You couldn't have told me in my early 20s the value of a relationship. Why? Because I didn't grow up seeing one. And 2, people around me in the relationship didn't look happy either. I don't sit here and be like, oh, man, why aren't I married with kids? It's because I didn't put that as an emphasis for most of my life. And if I'd have put even 1/10 of the energy that I put into my work, into my passions, as I did into actually trying to build a relationship and stay with somebody, bro, I'd have been married with kids a long time ago. I just didn't put in that time and that effort. That's it.
And yeah, there's some people that, they're really unlucky and stuff like that. But let me tell you that's a big minority. Oxymoron over here. That's a minority.
Yes.
That's a very few people that's like that. Most of us is, we made choices. We're not willing to take the responsibility of our choices. But at the end of the day, we're the driver. So don't drive. Don't stop at all. Yes, you're the one in charge.
Also, we also have to admit that a lot of things that we drive as, markers for success in our life, including this guy, like he's a big social media personality. That'll probably push you away from your goals from having kids and a family. Being honest.
And if you had a kid earlier, you probably wouldn't be able to do that. So.
Right? You want to have a successful career, be high paid, all these different things. That's going to push you away from having kids and a family. 100%. Why the social media thing? Because you're going to have people DMing you all the time. There's going to be a lot of distractions possible. You can imagine what I'm talking about. Also, the time invested in trying to make content, do all this stuff. Less time for your hobbies where you actually meet people in real life. So there's all kinds of things that add to the difficulty involved in this. So I think our society and the way we encourage people to be successful and push forward and to be marriage eligible oftentimes actually are some of the biggest things that drive us away from being eligible to be married, because we don't have the time, we don't have the flexibility, and we don't even get the chance to really develop ourselves in our social circles in the way that we need to. Like, that's one of the probably most convoluted aspects of it. You'll hear people all the time, I'm hyper successful, I can't meet anyone. Why? Because a lot of the markers that push these people to be very successful also drive them to have zero social life. So how do you want to meet people? Right? So there's all kinds of different things involved in this, but I just want to talk about this. I'm sure many of you feel the same at home, and I get it. It's understandable. But yeah, you are where you're supposed to be. Why don't you have kids?
That's my business.
Fair. Would you like to share your business with others?
No.
Well, that's it for today's video.
Fuck them kids.
You know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
Kids get money.
That's what I said.
That's what you said. I've heard you say that before.
Fuck them kids.
Not me. I'm about to adopt a little Asian baby.
Of course. Look just like you.
My own little Jackie Chan. All right, have a good day.
What?